Hi all, welcome back. Another mini concert tonight. This one's number 115. First up tonight is a song that's been around for a while. I traced it back into the late 1800s. Been covered by a lot of people. This particular version is a kind of an amalgamation of Joan Baez, the Byrds, and Peter, Paul, and Mary. I had a dog and his name was Blue. Had an old dog and his name was Blue. I had a dog, his name was Blue. Bet you $5 he's a good dog too. Singing here, Blue, you're a good dog, you're a good dog, you. But Blue come a-running when I blow my horn. Blue come a-running when I blow my horn. Blue come a-running through the yellow corn. Blue come a-running when I blow my horn. Singing here, Blue, you're a good dog, you're a good dog, you. Blue chased a possum up a hollow tree. Blue chased a possum up a hollow tree. Blue chased a possum up a hollow tree. I looked at him and he looked at me. Singing here, Blue, you're a good dog, you're a good dog, you. Old Blue died, he died so hard. Old Blue died and he died so hard. Old Blue died, he died so hard. Buried him out in our backyard. Singing here, Blue, you're a good dog, you're a good dog, you. When I get to heaven, tell you what I'll do. When I get to heaven, tell you what I'll do. When I get to heaven, tell you what I'll do. Grab my horn and I'll blow for Blue. Singing here, Blue, you're a good dog, you're a good dog, you. I had a dog and his name was Blue. Had an old dog and his name was Blue. I had me a dog, his name was Blue. Bet you $5 he's a good dog too. Singing here, Blue, you're a good dog, you're a good dog, you. Singing here, Blue, you're a good dog, you're a good dog, you. So that's a dog named Blue, or Old Blue. Got a couple of different names. Next up is a song that's been around since the late 1700s. On both sides of the Atlantic, there's an English version called Stewball. And then there's this version. The only people I could find that really covered this were Peter, Paul, and Mary. Stewball was a racehorse, and I wish he were mine. He never drank water, he always drank wine. His bridle was silver, and his mane it was gold, but the worth of his saddle has never been told. For the fairgrounds were crowded, Stewball was there, but the betting was heavy on the bay and the mare. Well, I bet on the gray mare, and I bet on the bay, but I bet on old Stewball. I'd be a free man today. It's way out yonder, ahead of them all. Came a dancing and a prancing, my noble Stewball. Well, the hoot owl she hollered, and the turtle dove moans, for a poor boy in trouble, I'm a long way from home. Well, Stewball was a racehorse, and I wish he were mine. He never drank water, he always drank wine. So there was an actual horse by the name of Stewball back in England. I don't know whether he really drank wine or not. Probably not. Next up is a Johnny Cash song. This was suggested by Ron Brown a while back. I'd never done it before, but it's kind of like it. Well, I taught the weeping willow how to cry, showed the clouds how to cover up a clear blue sky, but the tears that cried for that woman are gonna flood you, big river. I'm gonna sit right here until I die. Well, I met her accidentally in St. Paul, Minnesota. Tore me up every time I heard that drawl, southern drawl. Well, then I heard my queen went back downstream to Morton in Davenport. So I followed you, big river, when you called. Well, you took me to St. Louis, later on down the river. A freighter said she's been here, but she's gone, boy, she's gone. Well, I found her trail in Memphis, but she just walked up the bluff. She raised a few eyebrows and then she went on down below. Why don't you batter down by Baton Rouge, river clean rolling on. Take that woman on down to New Orleans, New Orleans. Well, go on, I've had enough. Dump my blues down in the Gulf. She loves you, big river, more than me. Well, I taught the weeping willow how to cry, and I showed the clouds how to cover up a clear blue sky. The tears that cried for that woman are gonna flood you, big river, and I'm gonna sit right here until I die. River, Cash. Next up is a bit of Americana. It's an Arlo Guthrie song singing about a train that goes between Chicago and New Orleans. Riding on the city of New Orleans, Illinois Central Monday morning rail. 15 cars and 15 restless riders, 3 conductors and 25 sacks of mail. All freight yards full of old black men and the graveyards of rusted automobiles. Good morning, America, how are ya? Say, don't you know me? I'm your native son. Well, I'm the train to call the city of New Orleans. I'll be gone 500 miles when the day is done. Dealing card games with the old man in the club car. Well, it's a penny a point, ain't no one keeping score. Pass the paper bag that holds the bottle. Feeling the wheels rumbling beneath the floor. And the sons of Pullman porters and the sons of engineers ride their fathers' magic carpets made of steel. Mothers with their babies asleep, rocked into the gentle beat, and the rhythm of the rails is all they feel. Good morning, America, how are ya? Say, don't you know me? I'm your native son. Well, I'm the train to call the city of New Orleans. I'll be gone 500 miles when the day is done. Well, it's nighttime on the city of New Orleans. Changing cars in Memphis, Tennessee. Halfway home, we'll be there by morning. Through the Mississippi darkness, rolling down to the sea. And all the towns and people seem to fade into a bad dream. Steel and rail still ain't heard the news. The conductor sings his song again. Passengers are pleased refrain. This train's got the disappearing railroad blues. Good night, America, how are ya? Say, don't you know me? I'm your native son. Well, I'm the train to call the city of New Orleans. I'll be gone 500 miles when the day is done. Yes, I'm the train to call the city of New Orleans. I'll be gone 500 miles when the day is done. So that's Arlo Guthrie's The City of New Orleans. Next up is an Eric Bogle song. Eric was noted for writing songs about World War I. He wrote them in the 50s and 60s. This one is, I first heard this done by Liam Clancy. It's called The Band Played Waltzing Matilda. I was a young man, they carried me packed, and I lived the free life of a rover. From the Murray's green basin to the dusty outback, I would waltz my Matilda all over. But then in 1915, my country said, son, it's time to stop rambling, there's work to be done. And they gave me a tin hat, and they gave me a gun, and they marched me away to the war. And the band played Waltzing Matilda as the ship pulled away from the quay. And amidst all the tears, flag waving and cheers, we sailed off for Gallipoli. Well, I'll never forget that terrible day when our blood stained the sands and the waters. How in that hell that they call Sula Bay, we were butchered like lambs at the slaughter. Well, Johnny Turkey was ready, he primed himself well, rained us with bullets, and he showered us with shells. And in 5 minutes flat, we were all blown to hell. He nearly blew us back home to Australia. And the band played Waltzing, Matilda, and we stopped to bury our slain. We buried ours, and the Turks buried theirs, and it started all over again. Well, those who remained just tried to survive in this mad world of blood, death, and fire. For 10 weary weeks I kept myself alive, while the corpses around me piled higher. But then a big Turkish shell blew me arse overhead, and when I awoke in the hospital bed, seeing what it had done, well, I wished I was dead. I never knew there were worse things than dying. So no more I'll go waltzing, Matilda, all around the green bush far and free. The hump tent and pegs, a man needs both legs. No more waltzing, Matilda, for me. Well, they gathered the injured, the wounded, the maimed, and they took us back home to Australia. The armless, the legless, the blind, the insane, those proud wounded heroes of Stewball. And when the ship pulled in the Circular Quay, I looked at the place where me legs used to be. Thank Christ there was no one there waiting for me, to mourn and to grieve and to pity. And the band played Waltzing, Matilda, and they carried us down the gangway. Nobody cheered, they just stood there and stared, and they turned their faces away. Now every April I sit on my porch, and I watch the parade pass before me. I see my old comrades, how proudly they march, reliving their days of past glory, while the old men march slowly, all bent, stiff, and sore, the forgotten heroes of a forgotten war. And the young people ask, what are they marching for? And I ask myself the same question. And the band plays Waltzing, Matilda, and the old men still answer the call. Year after year, numbers get fewer, soon no one will march here at all. Waltzing, Matilda, Waltzing, Matilda, who'll come waltzing, Matilda, with me? And their ghosts can be heard as they march by the lawn. Who'll come waltzing, Matilda, with me? So, that's Eric Bogle's The Band Played Waltzing, Matilda. One more tonight for you. This is it's the John Prine song. His parents were born in coal country back in Kentucky. In fact, it's one of the most productive areas in the world when everybody was turning out a lot of coal. It's called Paradise. Well, I'm sorry, my son, but you're too late in asking. Mr. Peabody's coal train has hauled away. Sometimes we travel right down the Green River to the abandoned old pit shaft by Adrie Hill, where the air smelled like snakes and we shoot with our pistols, but empty pop bottles was all we could kill. Daddy, won't you take me back to Mildenburg County by the Green River where paradise lay? Sorry, my son, but you're too late in asking. Mr. Peabody's coal train has hauled it away. Well, the coal company came with the world's largest shovel, and they tortured the timber and they stripped all the land. They dug for their coal till the land was forsaken. Then they wrote it all down as the progress of man. Daddy, won't you take me back to Mildenburg County by the Green River where paradise lay? Well, I'm sorry, my son, but you're too late in asking. Mr. Peabody's coal train has hauled it away. When I die, let my ashes float down the Green River. Let my soul roll on up to the Rochester Dam. I'll be halfway to heaven with paradise waiting, only 5 miles from wherever I am. Daddy, won't you take me back to Mildenburg County by the Green River where paradise lay? Sorry, my son, but you're too late in asking. Mr. Peabody's coal train has hauled it away. Well, I'm sorry, my son, but you're too late in asking. Mr. Peabody's coal train has hauled it away. So that's John Prine's Paradise, and that's Mini Concert 115. Hope to see you next week, 7:30.